My next fragrance is going to be Man Extreme from Bvlgari. This is a men's scent. It really surprised me. When I first smelled it, I fell in love with the Eau de Parfum. I'm sorry, the Eau de Toilette, and then I went and bought the Eau de Parfum because I liked it so much. It is gorgeous. This fragrance, it has citrus again. It's woody, it's green, it's floral. There's cactus juice in here.
That's unusual.
Yeah, bergamot again, pink grapefruit, but again, there's that amber. That amber on a lot of the fragrances that I brought in today, a majority of them, it's a hint enough that it takes it away from the two being too sweet. It's perfect. It just blends and dries beautifully on the skin. I don't know if you ever smelled that, but by all means.
I have not smelled this one.
They make a nice line. They have different fragrances, woody fragrances and stuff, but this one is just exceptional. It really is. It is a perfect, in my opinion, summer fragrance. Bvlgari.
That's really nice. On paper, but I haven't smelled it on skin. I'm getting, the original Bvlgari Man I purchased. There was another bottle that I purchased. I wore it for a little while and then I got rid of it. But I bought it primarily because they said that it had a pine or a fir note to it. And I really didn't get that out of it. But this one right off the bat, I don't know if it's listed in the notes, but I do get like a piney undertone to it. It smells strangely reminiscent of a Christmas tree with like tropical fruits over it. Interesting. Nice, crisp,
this fragrance
fresh.
is reasonably priced. Again, you're talking less than $100 again on this one. This is a huge bottle. This is definitely worth picking up.
Next on the list, I got another very popular summer list standard. Expensive as shit for what it is. I think I paid $250 for this. I took a trip to Los Angeles a couple years back. Well, more than a couple years back. I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe 5 years ago. And I stopped into the scent bar. And this was the only fragrance I took home on that trip. And it is Xerjoff Nio in the original bottle. I've heard stories of reformulation on this. I don't know if that's true. I really hope that it's not.
So this is the square initial offering from Xerjoff that you were talking about versus the newer one?
Well, no. That specific line, the Renaissance line, was released to celebrate some 500th anniversary or what, I don't even know, 800 years, I don't know. Some anniversary of Italy.
Right.
And they actually came in square bottles.
Okay.
They were 100 ml bottles, square, and with the same cool Xerjoff cap on them and everything. But then they went to these oval type of bottles for the entire line. So these bottles switched to the same as the Naxos that you have, as well as the other bottles switched as well. This is part of the Shooting Stars collection. If you've ever purchased anything from them, you know it comes with a little piece of meteorite in it, which is very cool. I don't save any of that shit. I threw it away, but it still was pretty cool. This was released in 2009. It took me a couple years to pull the trigger on it. Very expensive for a citrus fragrance. Xerjoff does citruses very well. I think they're more natural smelling and also better performing than most other citruses on the market. This is my favorite out of any of the Xerjoff citrus fragrance. There's also Kobe, which I wore today, and what's the other one? Oudin, which I also own. Now, Oudin gets a lot of comparison to a designer fragrance from Christian Dior, and I forget which one. It might be just Christian Dior Homme, or I don't know. I don't do too many designers. I do get that comparison. It smells like iris. It's very good, but it smells like other things. Kobe smells very good, but it's nothing special. Of the three, this one I like the most. So the notes say it's got cedar, gaiac wood. I definitely smell gaiac wood in there. It's got Haitian vetiver, which I do get. It's got amber. Yeah, amber's kind of in there. Yeah. It's got Indian patchouli. I don't really get the Indian patchouli.
Get a little bit of it.
But what I really get is a huge, heavy dose of natural bergamot. So Bergamot's got to be in like 10 of these fragrances that we brought,
surprisingly
right?
enough, yeah.
This one smells the most like actual natural bergamot. If you took the bergamot fruit and cut into it, it's got this citrus that's not quite orange, not quite lemon, and it's got this fuzzy aspect to it. This stuff for a citrus is absolute beast mode. People can smell you 5-6 feet away if you apply enough of it, and it lasts all day, which is impressive because it doesn't smell synthetic. I'm sure there's synthetics in there. It's impossible for them to get that kind of projection without synthetics. But one of my favorite fragrances of all time. I'll be sad when this bottle runs out because I hear that they've reformulated it. Have you smelled this one before?
Never. Actually, I like it a lot.
Yeah, really, really good.
Very
stuff.
nice.
I wish, Xerjoff, if you're out there listening, I'm confused as to why you don't offer 100 ml bottles of those 3 core citruses in the Shooting Stars lineup. They used to be available, or they were hard to get. Now they're not available at all. And, if I do have to repurchase this, I would much rather buy a 100 ml bottle. It'd definitely be worth an extra $100 or whatever you guys charge for it. But yeah, I reach for this quite often. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of this missing, but I did have a decant of it before, so I had to run through the decant. Also, I don't go through stuff too fast because I'm always sampling things, and I think probably a lot of us run into that same issue. But I'll be sad to see this one go.
Well, that's excellent. That's very nice. So from one extreme to another, this is my shout out to the cheapie. This fragrance line, I think I paid $20 for the bottle.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, I had heard people talk about this line, and I'm like, well, and I said, it's worth $20 to try it out. I have so far about 3 or 4 bottles from this line, but this in particular is absolute summer to me. This is St. Barts by Tommy Bahama. This is my shout out to the cheapies. You can get this at, where did I get this? Marshall's, I think, for $20. This here actually shocked me at this summer scent. This is beautiful. Man, just you smell this. It is called Set Sail St. Barts from Tommy Bahama. This is for men. It is citrus, green, salty, vanilla musk, agave in here, and lime. The lime you can definitely take away from this. It has kind of weak longevity. Projection is pretty decent, but longevity not really good. But $20. But this fragrance is summer in a bottle, and you can't go wrong at the price. This thing is very good for the amount of money.
I smelled this one earlier today. Was kind of pleasantly surprised. For $20, it's $20. I know a lot of people probably look at reviews like this and they'll bitch, oh, you guys are spending $300, $400, $500 on a bottle of fragrance. That's beyond most people's means. $20. Again, you could spray this all up and down your balls until the bottle's empty and just grab another bottle.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
The Acqua de Parma of $200 or roughly thereabouts. This is $20. You cannot go wrong. We don't want to give reviews where people are like, like you said, can't afford these bottles,
right.
But this is definitely go grab right away. Summer, it's a great fragrance.
To be honest, I'm glad that you brought up the Acqua de Parma, because if you look at it in terms of perceived quality or bang for your buck, that's $220. This one's $20. What do you get for the extra $200? This one arguably has better performance than the $220 one.
Yep.
And they're similar scents. They're not the same, but they are similar. This same similar aquatic citrus vibe, clean, freshy.
Yeah, absolutely. This is really nice for the money.
I'm running down to the end of my list. I got a couple left. Second to last on my list. Here's another one that people may not think is a summer fragrance. As a matter of fact, I have seen this on someone's fall list. Whatever. To each his own. Another banger that I got from, I believe I got this from Alan. Shout out to Alan again.
Beverly Hugh Pew.
Roja Dove, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm really sad that they went to these bottles with the plain caps, because the old caps had the flag colors for each country, which was actually sick. They kind of made them all uniform, made them all look like this. So This one was never available in the. This is from the Gulf series. This was never available with that different type of cap. This one came out is when they all made the bottle uniform or whatever. So perfumer Roja Dove. Like most Roja Dove, it's gonna have like 1,000 ingredients in it. This was released in 2017.
Ooh, wow.
It's supposed to be an oud fragrance.
Ooh,
yep.
yeah.
And you definitely do get some oud in there, but it's not that skanky. It's got a little skank down in the bottom. Classified as an oriental spicy. Top notes are aldehydes, which, if you're familiar with, what was the first one that was out? UAE. UAE is super aldehydic. I don't get any aldehydes in this one, but it says that they're there. Lime, mandarin orange, artemisia, definitely get lime. Jasmine, chamomile, violet, apple, black currant, strawberry, raspberry, plum. Strawberry, raspberry, and plum I get. There is a dried fruit accord in this, similar to the dried fruits that you get in Jubilation 25, but this is much fresher than Jubilation 25. Jubilation 25 leans towards the incense. It's got heavy incense. I don't get the incense in here. Also, there is banana, which in a dry down, you will get a little slight hint of banana in there. Violet leaf, pink pepper, cinnamon, cloves, saffron, oak moss, cedar, balsam fir, sandalwood, agarwood, cotton candy accord, whatever that means, cacao pod, leather, and musk. I get the musk, I don't get the leather, I don't get the cacao at all.
You get a little leather in here.
The thing is with the Xerjoff fragrances, they are blended so meticulously. There's so many ingredients in these things that it's hard to pick out individual notes.
Roja.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Roja. With all the Rojas, they're that way. I mean, you look and they have 50 ingredients, and who the hell knows what you're actually smelling. But in this one, you will get some fresh fruits mixed with some dried fruits. You'll get the oud down in the base, but that fruity accord, you could spray this one time on a chest, let's say. It'll last you all day long, and it'll project all day long. I got a sample from Lucky Scent on this, and immediately I had to go out and find a bottle, and I did. And I don't use it too much for work because I think it'll choke people out. But it's a great fragrance for just, being out during the day or whatever. These fragrances, I don't know if they're discontinuing this line. I heard that they were. These retail for $550. I didn't pay that for this bottle, nor would I pay that for this bottle. But if you want to pay $550 for it, whether it's worth it or not is subjective. But it's definitely an unusual fragrance for the summertime. Works very well on skin in the summertime. I would never wear this in the winter because I don't wear fruity stuff in the winter. Some people would though. So there's that. Have you smelled this one before?
I have not.
What do you think?
I'll tell you, to me, right away, the oud hit me. And Anthony or Magneto has introduced me to the world of oud along with other expensive fragrances I can't afford. And the oud hits me right away, but in the dry down, just on these little cut return card blotters that we're using, you can start to smell the fruit in that, and that's what I like. It definitely dries down even on that card. I'd like to probably sample it on my skin at some point and see how it projects throughout the day. But definitely oud right off the top for me, and then some little sweetness from the fruit.
Yep.
Definitely there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there.
I almost get like a very light incensey vibe, but there are no incense listed, I don't think, in the note breakdown. Honestly, like I said, I heard that this Gulf collection was going away. If you're out there, you're interested in this fragrance, I would get a sample of it and try to get it while you still can. I think it's worth a purchase, even maybe at full retail, it's worth a purchase. I've had this bottle for a year now. It's almost absolutely full, and I have used it several times. It only takes 1 or 2 sprays. In comparison, something like a Ventus, I'm doing 10, 12, 15 sprays just to get it to last. Wow. It's a very expensive fragrance.
The older Aventus you gave me, 2 sprays.
I do have a 16 mil, I think, no, 16 mil, a 500 mil flacon from 2000 and something, 2015 maybe. And it was okay. It wasn't as good as the 2011 version of Aventus for sure.
I just picked up an 18B01 Aventus, and I like it, but I think it's got to mature.
There's just something with that fragrance where I can't smell it after 10 minutes. And the original batches, I don't want to get off on an Aventus tangent, but the original batches, they did last me all day, and I got tons of compliments. With the other ones I've tried since then, no compliments. Nobody can smell it, including me.
Well, I mean, it's right to bring up Aventus too because of the pineapple in it. I mean, it's just a pineapple killer. And again, the batch varies. His batch that he gave me a decant of, I spray that once, and man, it is pineapple galore. My other batch dries down a little differently, and I get pineapple at the end of it, but it's in line with our summer fragrances, I think. It's a little heavy.
Yeah.
Little heavy.
I intentionally didn't bring Aventus just because it's almost on everybody's list, so it's kind of redundant.
Yeah.
And I think the selection that we have here, most of the ones that I've chosen are better than Aventus, for me, in my personal lineup. If I had to do like a ranking, these all would be better than Aventus. They're definitely more unusual. They're not bro fragrances where, you know, the trash guy's wearing the shit for $400, you know, and every Joe Schmo at every club you've ever been to is wearing it, and the pool guy and so on and so forth. And the performance is just, you know,
it's too unpredictable.
Unpredictable is a great word for that.
Yeah. All right, my last fragrance, and I do not have a bottle of this yet, but trust me, days, I will. Frederic Malle, Music for a While. We were in Saks Fifth Ave in Boston. This was recommended. This is unbelievable. I didn't even know where to begin with this one. This one, deep dried citrus in this one. It smells beautiful. What are some of the notes that, if anything, that
Frederic Malle, it's got pineapple in it. It's got some...
Right off the bat, pineapple.
I think pineapple is the only thing that I remember. I can look it up.
Dried cherries, maybe?
I think it's lavender. It's got lavender in it.
So don't know too much about this one yet, but this is my shout out to what I'm getting next. This is definitely top of the list. Frederic Malle, Music for a While. It is excellent. And this, by the way, this little sample, one spray, all day. Longevity was excellent.
I'll agree with that. That it's a love it or hate it fragrance, I'm finding. Who's the reviewer? I don't remember, but you know who you are if you're watching this. I think he described it as, you know, somebody took an absolutely stunning fougere and just fucked it all up. So I haven't had a full wearing of it. I did spray it on myself. I smelled some pineapple, definitely off the bat. It's got some type of synthetic that they use in there that I also could smell. And it's got some woody accord and some fougere stuff. It's got a little bit of lavender in it. Haven't spent any time with it, so I couldn't give you an opinion on it yet. But a lot of the Frederic Malle stuff, I feel like you can't just spray it on a card. You need to put it on your skin and wear it, give it a full day. Even if you think it's a scrubber initially, wear it the full day and then see what you get out of it.
Well, I'll tell you, some of the fragrances you introduced me to, a lot of them, when I first smelled them, if you gave me a decant or whatever, couldn't be bothered. They sat in my cabinet. Then one night, and I don't know if anybody does this or most people do this, when I get out of the shower or when I'm going to bed, I'll spray a couple sprays to see how it lasts as I'm falling asleep, watching TV, and now I love them. Acqua de Parma line is one of those I did not care for. Now I do. This is another one that if you spray it, initially you're going to be like, let it dry, see what it's like. Its projection is great. Its longevity is great. The scents, the deeper notes in it are just beautiful. Pineapple right off the bat, but it dries out and it is just gorgeous. And it's definitely next on my hit list.
We do have one more fragrance on your list. The one I brought for you.
That's true. That is true.
This has been on his list for a while. He didn't pick it up, so I brought my bottle of it. This bottle was purchased 2008 or 2009. And I used quite a bit of it, and you say, well, Jesus Christ, it's been 10 years. The bottle's about halfway gone. But that's more than I can say for almost any other fragrance I own. But it's Millesime Imperial by Creed.
Another Creed.
Yep. Yeah, it's got a little dust on it from sitting on the shelf. but give us your thoughts on that one.
That's beautiful. Nice citrus on the top. Now that must smell like a honey in there, or
It is very
sweetness. Yeah.
It is very honeyed. This one is 1995, but it's the same year as Silver Mountain Water, probably just as popular as Silver Mountain Water. Nose behind the fragrance is Olivier Creed. Fragrantica says it is a warm and romantic unisex fragrance evocative of the citrus groves of the beautiful seaside landscape of sunny Sicily. A lot of fragrances out there are inspired by Sicily. It's got citrus marine notes, fruit, sea salt. Middle notes include lemon, bergamot, iris, mandarin orange. The base notes include musk, wood, and marine notes. And something that's not listed here that I think everybody talks about is that it has a melon note.
Melon, or I want to say honey, but I thought it's got a sweetness.
This has the signature Creed ambergris, and it's got a lot of it. And as much as I could see, Sicily, how Sicily would inspire such a fragrance, this always reminds me of New York City. And I couldn't tell you why. I don't know if the first time I smelled it was in New York City, but it reminds me of the steam that comes up from the sewers on a blazing balls hot day in New York City. The citruses, you're not going to find anything better for a citrus fragrance. I don't care what you spend. The salt note in here is super good. Similar to Creed's Aralfa, it's got that sea salt smell. A lot of other companies have tried to recreate this fragrance and make fragrances like this. They pale in comparison to the original. Lemon and bergamot definitely come through. More bergamot. I don't really get the iris in there so much, but the woods and musk are prevalent. And I know a lot of people, this is their signature scent. They wear it year round. If you really don't want to spend the coin on these, this bottle's not available anymore in the 120 ml, but you can still get a 100 ml bottle of this, and I think they retail for around $400. You can get this discounted for the $200 range quite easily, and if you don't want to spend that, you can get the complete ripoff of this fragrance, which was Sean John Unforgivable Ghetto Fabulous version of a fantastic fragrance. If you don't want to spend the money, spend $30 on Unforgivable, and you'll get pretty much the same result, just not as refined. This has just got juicy citrus and that nice creamy ambergris base. If you've never smelled any of these, I guess a lot of these are repeating the same notes, but they're all very different from each other,
which is unusual. Carried a lot of similar notes, but they all carried in different ways and dried down in different ways.
This will project across the room. This is a great date fragrances. Great date fragrances. It's a great date fragrance. Not that there is such a thing as a panty dropper, but this will be in that category if there were such a thing.
Assuming women are wearing panties these days.
Females love this.
Excellent.
All right.
So what do we have on your final hit list?
I got one final one. I just picked it up. Let me pull up the, because I'm too lazy to write notes. Let me pull up the Fragrantica page on this bad boy here. All right. So, this house has not been around that long, and I don't think it's not a very popular house, and I think that what keeps it from being a popular house is that the price is just too exclusive. And it's not necessarily a matter of having the money or not having the money. It's some people just say, I am not paying this for a fragrance.
That's where I thought I was until I started hanging out with him.
I have my own response to that, but this is from a house that cultivates its own organic oud. All of their fragrances, or most of their fragrances, are oud based. They're kind of hard to get. Here in the United States, the only place that you can get this stuff is through Lucky Scent. I went around Lucky Scent and I bought mine from Selfridges at a huge savings, even with the international shipping. So shout out to Selfridges. And this one is Fragrance du Bois London Oud. So in the States, I believe this retails for $420 for a 50 ml bottle. This is a 100 ml bottle, and I got that for $5.50 from Selfridges. I haven't seen any U.S. bottles that are 100 ml except for one, and I believe it retailed for that brand. Their 100 ml bottles retailed in the $700 range, so quite a savings to just get it from London and have it shipped over. Fantastic. Let me get into the notes with this.
Before you get into that, you should know that Magneto here is an oud hound, so know that going in, and it's very interesting to see if this is a natural oud.
Yep.
It's not as, first impression for me, doesn't hit me as hard as the synthetic oud.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's more, it's easier.
There's a lot of, everything's got oud in it now. Every fragrance house has 1 or 2 or 15 different ouds that they're trying to push. Most of them are oud accords. They're synthetic oud. There's no real oud in them. And also, they're not derivative or anything similar to, oud is a Middle Eastern ingredient in perfumery, right? We all know that. Middle Eastern ouds are very different from the mass-produced stuff that's being put out in the Western perfumery. This is a very Western-style fragrance. The oud that's in this, which is almost undetectable, I think is just an underlying current that's used to push and amplify the other notes that are in the fragrance. And the other notes that are in the fragrance, it says, according to Fragrantica, let's see, are lavender, jasmine, bergamot again, mint, white flowers, sea notes, so it's got a marine vibe, patchouli, cedar, nutmeg, cardamom, agarwood, lavender, lemon. What do you get out of that, besides the oud?
Well, the oud is drying, like I said, it's a very different oud from what I've smelled. I've never smelled quite like that. But I am getting the lemon coming through, getting some sweetness. Bergamot. Maybe some lavender too. Yeah.
I want to give this another smell. Unequivocally, the best from this line, in my opinion, is going to be Sahara Oud, which is totally different. You've smelled it before. It's a very fall, winter, amber, saffron, oud, like heavy-hitting, choke you out type of fragrance. It doesn't get skanky at all. It's very smooth, but it's also very heavy. This is the exact opposite of that. This is almost designer range with the citruses and marine notes that are very popular in Western designer fragrances. Lemon and bergamot were really strong on this one. Lavender, I definitely pick up lavender from this. Interestingly enough, for a fragrance that retails for in England, $550. Here, probably $700. If you have no intention of ever even sampling this, because samples are like $10 a mil on Lucky Scent, and it's just out of your range, you can look up Khitan Black. And Khitan Black, I think, costs $50 for a 50 ml bottle, and it is a very similar fragrance to this fragrance. The difference is the performance on the Khitan is better. And the reason that it's better is because it's super synthetic. Similar vibe, this one just smells more natural and more refined. Where the Khitan Black, it was given to me as a gift years ago, and I liked it, but it absolutely choked people out. This one, projection's not that great, and that brings me to another point. A lot of people complain about Fragrance du Bois that the performance is not there, but on Fragrance du Bois fragrances, I find that, Sahara Oud, which I mentioned earlier, also Oud Noir Intense, which smells like oud wood. Very good performance, very good longevity, projection through the roof. On these lighter ones, like this one, projection is not through the roof. You're gonna need 4 or 5 good sprays of it. However, I sprayed this on the first time from the bottle about 4 days ago, and I was like, oh, projection's so-so, you know. But about 12 hours later, I went to go take a shower, and I took my shirt off, threw my shirt on the bathroom floor. I got out of the shower, the whole entire bathroom smelled like this fragrance. It's just I don't know if I had become anosmic to it or whatever, but it really was like a huge scent bubble in that bathroom from this. It's fresh, it's a little fruity, it's a little citrusy, it's woodsy in the base. Perfect, I think, for the hot weather. If you get a chance to check these guys out, I think they're worth sampling. I think one that's even better for the summer is Oud Blue Intense, but I didn't bring that because I don't have a full bottle of it. And that one has similar notes to this one, but it's also got kind of a mentholated eucalyptus type of smell along with the marine notes.
This is very nice. Very nice. But once again, Magneto's getting me into a house that's out of my price range.
Signature scent worthy. If you don't own anything else, you could own a bottle of this and be happy with it. 100 mils should last you a very long time. So foods, that's everything that we got. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 bottles of ball bangers for the summer.
Yep. And it's something to remember here that there's something for everybody's price range we tried to cover here. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I will put up a picture of the bottles that we have once the video is completed. Please leave your comments of what you thought of each individual fragrance. If there's something we missed or something you want to recommend. We appreciate you watching this video, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Definitely. And again, like, we're not any kind of professional reviewers. The editing's probably going to be shit. Sounds probably shit. We just kind of did this for fun.
We're doing this at my pool.
You know, yeah. We just did this for fun because I watch a lot of reviews and I just want to put my own 2 cents in of what I like. You know, but if you guys like it and you want us to review other stuff or make other lists or whatever, just shoot us a message or put a comment down below. Thanks.
All right. Take care. Thank you.